Alright, what's going on, YouTube? Alright, this is your boy Mr. Silverado.
Yes, sir.
Drop through the scene in the 95 Acura. Everything original, I ain't tatted up. In the lab with the work like I ain't mad enough. I'm tryna ball with this rap like it's Madden, bro. Fly through the map and all black like Aladdin. I want a plat where it's at, hide the cash and stuff. Phone off the hook for them niggas ain't tapping us. I hate the struggle cause that shit was bad for us. Hot ramen noodle nigga.
I am going to give y'all everything that I did to get my LS motor inside of my truck. I'm gonna give you a breakdown of everything that you need, what to spend money on, what y'all gotta excuse that wind and children yelling in the back because we're outside. It's a pretty nice day. What you need, what choices you should make depending on the money you're trying to spend. This is literally just for budget LS swappers only. I mean, you can watch it if you're not, but this is for LS swappers who trying to do it on a budget, period. This is what this is. So what I did was I made a list. Here's things we're going over. Y'all excuse my handwriting because it's kind of trash. But motor, transmission selection, motor mounts, motor, engine, and transmission, oil pan, drive shaft, 4L60E, 4L80E, power steering lines, transmission lines, linkage, cross member, fuel system, fuel lines. I mean, all that stuff here. Just pretty much all of that. Because nobody explained to me. I had to go around searching for a lot of stuff on YouTube and stuff like that before I did my swap, because I was trying to figure out how to do it, what to select, what not to select, what to get, what not to get. All right, let's start with number one. Motor and transmission selection. Me personally, I went with a 6.0 LQ9. I mean, you can find those, but sometimes people can be pretty pricey on them. 5.3, you can still get the same amount of power on the 5.3. Honestly, 6.0 is the, you know, between 6.2 and 5.3. 6.0 is the, you could get the best bang for your buck with a 6.0. My motor, my engine builder put LS6 cam in it, LS6 lifters. It was everything on the inside of the motor was touched. There was nothing that was, I had, you know, everything, there was nothing that was reused, put it that way. And as far as transmission selection, if you can afford a 4L80E, just get a 4L80E, because 4L60Es are known for not holding up. Let's just be honest. They're known for not holding up. They're just not really, let me change to the motor first of all. How about that? They're not really known for their longevity. 4L60E, I mean 4L80E, they are, I mean, they're heavy duty transmissions. They are meant for power. That's what they're meant for. So if you're planning on putting a crazy load of power into these and you're not racing or anything like that, but even then, I mean, still go with a 4L80E so you won't be replacing a transmission down the line. You can use the factory oil pan on the truck motors inside of these OBS trucks. Okay, you can use the factory oil pan, so don't let nobody tell you that you got to get a car oil pan, spend all that money for the, no, you don't have to do all that, because Holly and them sell these oil pans and they're freaking ridiculous on price. Engine mounts, you can use the factory engine mounts that come on these trucks. I'm gonna show you if I can zoom in. All right, that right there is the factory Chevy mount, but attached to it is the adapter plate that attaches to these LS engines. I got mine from TransDap, but I rarely realized that they sell them online for like 30 bucks, literally. I think it's LSX Innovations that sells them on eBay for like 30 bucks, and you can get those, and they work just as great. Nobody, I mean, I watch YouTube videos on it and nobody has made any complaints about them. They're absolutely perfect. Let's see, transmission. On my trans, I'm going to show you. I gotta bring the book with me so it won't blow away. On my transmission, since I got a 2500, I just slid my cross member back. One, I don't know if you can see on that side, bolts there. My cross member, all I did was just slide it back. Use the existing bolt holes that was already on it. Because these 2500s really came with the, some of them came with 4L80Es, so you really didn't have to really worry about that as far as transmission wise. Now while we're under here too, drive shaft. Okay, if you have a 2-piece drive shaft like this truck here on the 2500 or any of these extended cabs, all you have to do is take an inch out of the drive shaft. That's it. Just an inch out of the drive shaft. Okay? Take an inch out the drive shaft and you'll have the perfect length for these extended cab trucks. I don't know the difference between the 2-piece drive shafts and the, I don't know if they all have 2-piece drive shafts. I'm not for sure. Don't quote me on that, but just know for mine, if you have 2-piece drive shaft, all you have to do is take an inch out of the drive shaft and you can put a 4L80E in this truck. If you had a 4L60E. Now if it came with a 4L80E, hey, leave it. Power steering lines. All right, let me show you that. Power steering lines. Power steering lines, factory power steering lines on the truck. You do not have to change up your power steering lines. You can use the same power steering lines that come on these trucks. They go right on to the LS power steering pump. Let's see. Transmission lines. On mine, I'm gonna show you what I did on mine for the trans lines. All right, let's see. Sorry, y'all. Gotta get out of here. Transmission lines on mine. All I did was here. You see that right there? Those are the factory brackets for the transmission right there. Well, the factory lines. All I did was run transmission cooler lines because it was more affordable than getting the AN fitting lines, and I literally did this on a budget. Okay, and also too, I was able to use the cooler lines that connected to the transmission, so I didn't even have to take those off. I was able to just cut it in half and then run the cooler line from there into the other line. And make sure you get these right now, okay? You gotta get these right. You gotta make sure which one's the flow and which one's the return. You gotta make sure you Google that. I don't know it off the top of my head right now. I Googled it, knew it back then. I don't honestly really know it right now. So make sure that you get that right, because if not, you'll overheat your transmission. Because like I said, I'll show you that quick. Right there, I don't know if you can see it. But that right there is the factory lines that came with this transmission when I got it. And all I did was put them back in and put those clips, those little metal clips that goes back in it. All right, let's see. I gotta move pretty quick, y'all, because I don't want this video to be like crazy long. Let's see what else we got here. Linkage. I gotta crawl back under this thing again. All right, so if you're doing a 4L60E, all right, well, if you have a 4L60E in your truck, all right, let's see if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that or not. If you have a 4L60E in your truck, make sure you use the linkage off of your other transmission. And the reason why I say that is because if you don't use, let's see if I can get close up on that. If you don't use that linkage, you're not going to be able to shift your transmission unless you're going to use the neutral safety switch, which this truck didn't have a neutral safety switch on it, so I kind of lucked up in that sense. So make sure you use your linkage. Don't throw away your linkage. Don't sell your transmission with your linkage on it, because if you sell it with the linkage on it, you're not going to be able to shift your trans. All right, it's important that you keep that linkage. Went over cross member. Fuel system. All right, on my fuel system, I went with the Quantum off of Amazon, and it's a ridiculously quiet fuel pump. I mean, you can't even hear the thing come on. It's kind of scary because if you're trying to check to see if you have if your fuel pump's working, you can't really hear it. But I've had no issues with that, and the company that sells this Quantum fuel pump, the customer service is great. Make sure it's a 255 that puts out 60 PSI. Because these trucks here, unless you have the ones with the spider injection, you won't have enough fuel pressure. Point blank period. You will not have enough fuel pressure to support these LS motors because the what is it, the TPI? Yeah, the TPI. I think that's what it's called. The old fuel injection system that they had on it before. If it has that, that's like 9 or 10 PSI. It's not enough, and you have to boost that up, or you're never going to be able to run your motor. Fuel lines. What I did was I used the factory lines that ran from the back of the tank to the front of the tank and cut them. And I used, let me show you right here. I don't know if you can see it back there, but that line right there has the metal part, has the rest of the line that came with the intake. So all you do is you get you some high pressure hose, you get you some high pressure clamps, double clamp it, okay? It's safety wise. Now again, this is on a budget. Double clamp it, and I've been telling you, I've done this, so I've had no issues with it at all. It's never left me on the side of the road. My truck is still rolling, it's not on fire. Double clamp it, run it up to your rails, and you got, boom, you got fire right there, and it, no leakage, no nothing. I literally did it myself, and it's no issues. Let me show you. I'm gonna show you what I did. I'm gonna see if I can get one of them. Oh, here it is right here. All right, so, man, this sucks, man. Can't really see it. You can't really see that because of the sun. Oh man, the sun. Well, oh, let me see if I can get right here. Oh no, man. Hold on, let me use my phone as a light. Here we go. All right, so right there. Right there. All right, so these are, that's your feed, and that's your return. High pressure fuel line ran all the way up to the, and no, that's not close to the header. Okay, it's actually close up against the firewall. I have it away from the header, it's nowhere near. And this looks like it on camera, but it's actually not. Wish I could show it to you. There you go, you can see a little better. It's pretty far off. All the way up to the fuel rail. Now I'm running a TBSS intake, so I had to run a Corvette filter. I would need to, if you're running a Corvette filter, you can mount it. You can mount it here. It's so many different places you can mount it. Here, I mean, you can mount it anywhere and run your lines. Only thing is, if you look at this right here, these are your fuel lines that come back, and there's your existing fuel filter right there. You can take that fuel filter out and run it the way you want to, but I mean, I left it because it doesn't hurt anything to have two filters going to your fuel system, especially using this fuel here that we have in Virginia. It doesn't hurt anything to have those two fuel filters. So you could put it right there. It'll fit in that hole right there. You could put it there and run it down, but it's completely up to you. I don't know if y'all can see that linkage before, but I'm shining the light on it so y'all can see it. There's a linkage that came off the 4L60E that was on my truck. So, okay, that's that. Let's go to our next thing. Let's go to our next thing. All right, fuel system. Okay, injectors. I had an issue with my injectors on mine because it took a lot to clean my injectors up. I used the factory injectors that came out of, that was in the motor that I had, and mine was pretty much a junkyard motor. My motor was running exceptionally rough because my injectors wouldn't clean themselves up. So when I got my, so I ended up swapping to LS1 fuel injectors and swapped out the fuel injectors from the truck ones to LS1, and that cleaned it up a little bit. But when I went to the TBS intake, I mean, it was like night and day. I forgot what these are. These are 36 pounds injectors that came off of an 08 Tahoe. They're the best injectors you can buy, and I think you can get them online for like $100. A buddy of mine knows the link to them or whatever. But if you don't want to splice into your harness, I'll show you these. They're on my page. These harness adapters here, they connect to the injector and also to the factory harness. They're freaking awesome, man. I'm trying to tell you that now. But if I was you, I would literally clean up, get some new injectors. If you can't afford new injectors, just make sure you clean your injectors out pretty good before you run your motor, because you don't want all that gunk and stuff in those injectors running through your stuff. Okay, cooling system. All right, down there, that's the factory hose from off of the truck, off the 94 truck. You can use the factory hose off the 94 truck. When you get your motor out of the junkyard, make sure you grab your top radiator hose. If it's in good condition, don't just grab any radiator hose. Look inside of it, go through it, make sure it's in good condition, because if it's not in good condition, it's you're just gonna put a whole bunch of gunk and stuff inside of your motor through the cooling system, and you don't want to do that. This is the factory radiator that came off of the Silverado, this 94. This is the factory radiator that come out, so you can use your radiator. You do not have to buy the radiator from the newer trucks, or take a radiator out of the junkyard from the newer trucks. You can use your factory radiator in your truck. Also too, if y'all can see over there, I'm running the transmission lines that came on this truck. Literally, I'm running those. That's why I said that use the factory radiator so that you can splice into the existing ones. Cooling fans. You can run, you can run the big old fan, and it'll fit in the shroud that comes on the truck. It will fit in the shroud. Or you can get the shroud off of one of the trucks and adapt it to the front of the truck. But cooling fans are, they're better. They actually cool the truck better, and it helps with the drag on the motor on the interstate. It gives you a little bit more horsepower. So these are LS1 fans. I got them from the junkyard. They literally cost me 30, well actually no, 20 bucks from the junkyard is what these fans cost me. So I lucked up, wired them up over there. Boom. All right, this harness from Alibaba gave you the ability to wire in those fans and everything like that, so it was pretty cool. Let's see what else I got here. Like I said, I'm sorry this video is so long, I'm just trying to give y'all everything. The steam lines, I had to look up all over the place to find out how to run the steam lines. All right, so steam lines, you see this port here? All right, there's a port. All right, mine's is ran differently, but you can run it either way. The safest way is to run it the factory way. Let's put it that way. There's a port here that goes to the steam vent in the front of the motor. Make sure you put that there, because that is very important on these motors to get that steam out of the motor. Chevy put it there, so run it back factory. So to put this here to the, as you can see, this portion here, to put it here. But mine is on the other side because I'm running it to the top of the radiator. Okay? But you can take it from here. I don't know if you can see it. I can't get in there enough to be able to let you see it or not. There it is right there. Hold on. Right here. I don't know if you can see it. There it is right there. You can take that side and run that side to the radiator. Okay? Not this top part. Not this piece. But this piece. This piece on here. This is for the overflow that goes to the tank. This is for part of the cooling system on the radiator. So run it to this. All right, so I'm gonna show you again. The port here on the steam vent, right there. Let's see if I can go over here and zoom in a little bit. See if it'll clear up some. Okay, there it is. All right, the steam vent, the port here on the steam vent. Okay, that port run to this side on the throttle body, and then take this other side here, right here. Okay, come on, focus. This side here, and run this side to the bottom part of the radiator. So this piece here of the radiator, okay? That piece there. Let's see. I'm not missing anything else. Oh, ECUs. A lot of people go back and forth on how to mount their ECUs. You can mount your ECU however you want. You can get the factory it's like that box thing. It's like that that whole container thing that goes right here. You can get that and mount that however you want to mount it. But this here came out of a S10. Okay, this came out of an S10. All right, you go to the junkyard. They literally charged me like $2 for this thing. Mounted it here, right here on the inner fender, and it worked out perfectly fine. Ran it actually the factory way with the wiring harness coming out of the side of the engine cover. So that is that there. Wiring, let's see, this is the factory wire for the alternator that went from the battery on the other side. I just ran it through, connected to the back of the alternator, boom, done. Let's see, what else? I think that's it, man. If y'all have any other questions down, I mean, you know, you can ask me some more questions in the comment section. I will have, I got more stuff too, more videos that I need to put up, but I will have another video about the, about the AC system. I know y'all noticed that I don't have air conditioning on my truck. I do have the bracket in the back. That's another video that I'm going to show later on. But as of right now, this is where I'm going to leave this at, because I think this is just a guide right now to show you how to swap into your vehicle. What you need to swap into your vehicle. So that's it, y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe, man. Go follow me on Instagram. It's Mr.Silverado on Instagram. And subscribe to YouTube, man. This is just something new that I'm doing. So I'm gonna show you guys a lot, man. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm out, y'all.